Transfer Act is a big thing that manufacturers have talked about. There's obviously as manufacturing consolidates and people look to, expand their facilities and look at the value of their businesses. Transfer Act was a big drag and a big challenge just to either move or expand. And I think it hurt economic development, but we made some changes there.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm smiling because I was a month into my job in 2019, and someone came up to me and said, "You've got to do something about the Transfer Act. It's terrible." And I was only hearing complaints at that time, and I still mostly hear only complaints, but. So we spent a lot of time, and the governor's been tremendous from a leadership perspective, as has both the Commerce Committee and the Environment Committee of the legislature. But ultimately, in 2019, there were some amendments made to the Transfer Act that reformed it and made it simpler. They caught less entities or land parcels up in the Transfer Act. And for those that may not be as close in the weeds here, the Transfer Act is a process by which, if you're selling a piece of property, if it could be viewed as what's called an establishment where there could be some contamination, it would go through a potentially long and uncertain and costly process. So it made it tough to sell property and buy property in the state. Fast forward to this past summer, and Governor Lamont with the legislature really championed a bill to eliminate the Transfer Act and sunset it. And that was passed actually in a special session. So where we are now is really two steps to the bill, Ari. The first part of it is further reforming the Transfer Act to, again, you're going to see less sites and less businesses get caught up in it, which I think is a good thing because there's just less friction. And then ultimately, once new regulations are formed for what's called a release-based environmental system, that, by the way, that's what every other state in the country, save for one, does already. So we're Connecticut here. We need to get to the present as opposed to the future. The Transfer Act will then go away and completely sunset, and that's going to be great because it's going to provide a lot of certainty to those that either want to sell property or buy property in the state. They're going to not have to deal with this long and difficult and expensive process. So I think that's a huge win for our cities, and it's a huge win for our manufacturers.